Champion Power Equipment Bassmaster Elite on Lake Okeechobee. This is it, the second stop of the year, second stop in Florida in 2 weeks. Live coverage sponsored by Yamaha. Getting closer and closer to weigh-in time. That's coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. I'm going to take a look at what we have seen so far today, the fish catches we have on record with our Toyota midday report. And let's start it out with an 8-time winner with the Bassmasters, Jason Christy.
Yeah, Tommy, he was very excited about this early catch. He was wanting to see if he'd be able to get a fish.
Damn it, I got that.
A fish in an area, checking that's your biggest concern as an angler. Are they still here, or where can I get a bite? Started off strong, really quiet for a while though, picked up a frog midday and has started to catch some fish. Now he has transitioned, Tommy, and this is kind of his third prong of his tournament day, is punching or flipping the thick cover of the reeds. You can get 1 or 2 bites doing that. You now know, as Jason, I can catch fish moving baits, subsurface, top water, and flipping. I can piece together and salvage this tournament.
3 different approaches. The fish are all the same size.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the one problem with that. Needs a big one. Everyone needs a big one here at some point during the proceedings on Okeechobee. Drew Cook had high hopes for this day.
Yes, Drew Cook being, I believe he was in the top 10 in our last event here for the Elite Series in 2023. Loves flipping, pitching, top water, all the Florida staples that we know. Sight fishing for sure. If a wave of fish starts to come in some of these community holes, it might be Drew Cook's time to make that move. But for most of today, spent time in one of those canals, kind of splitting his time. We see him now obviously later in the afternoon making a switch, but if his canal bite dies and he has to live in these community hole areas, Tommy, he could start to find the sweet spots for sure in those regions.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the bunch of big spawners show up, he's the guy to exploit the situation. He can get the work done in a very efficient way.
You really don't want to bomb. You don't want 5 fish for 6.5 pounds. If you can catch a 3.5 pounder, even if you don't get big ones, Tommy, it keeps you in the game for a big bag tomorrow. And that's what Caleb Sumrall's hoping for. Really, no big ones for him, middling limit, but 8 to 10 pounds will keep you below that cut line. If he could catch one decent fish, a 3.5 to 4 pounder, he's like, okay, today is done. Now I need to figure out how to get a bigger bite tomorrow.
Caleb doing what a lot of people doing last week, looking at those residential canals for more of a stable water situation. Maybe not the best water, but certainly better than some he might encounter out there away from all of that. Bill Lowen, coming off a big win, second Bassmaster Elite Series victory in his career last week on the St. Johns River.
You look at that 29th with 8.5 pounds right now, Tommy. We have to keep into account that we probably have about 60 anglers on Bass Track, so there's going to be about 40 that may pop in. I would not expect 8.6 to be at the cut line, somewhere probably around the 10 to 11. I don't expect it to be insurmountably bigger, but somewhere in that 11-pound range is probably going to be cut line material. And for Bill Lowen, he's kind of thinking about his final day at the St. John's right now. I've got a bunch of small ones. I would love that one bite to get me to tomorrow, and that's going to be the story for everyone at the weigh-in. Not to give away what they're going to say to Dave Mercer, but most likely Dave catching a big one is the name of the game down here, and I just did not get it done today.
Well, a man who did catch a big one, and we thought he maybe had another one on momentarily there just a few minutes ago, is Brandon Cobb, an 8-pounder coming into the boat about an hour and a half ago.
Peter, we've seen him do 3 different things as well right now. We saw him start out in a canal, catch a bunch of 2-pounders, 1.5, 2-pounders, made the move to the lake, picked up the chatterbait, which helped him catch a giant stringer the last time we were here in 2023, catches an 8+ pounder, and now we've seen him go to the reed pitching and flipping with a bigger weight and thicker cover.
Yeah, you know, he's employed a bunch of different techniques, and that's the key. And like you said, chatterbaits, frogs, you know, jerkbaits, Texas rig. I mean, he's doing it all, and it pays off. And that's the key, getting that big bite. One way or another, you got to get that one big fish for the day to give you confidence, to give you a standing, to get you to the next days ahead. And this is the fish that could do it for anybody. 8.5 pounds right there.
If Brandon Cobb continues on through today, Tommy, and fishes well tomorrow, makes Saturday, he'll be continuously thinking about this one bite, because it's one of those deals. You could have 9 pounds Or you could have 16 pounds and have the same level of confidence. You're just like, hey, today I got a big bite. I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow, but at least I got it.
Well, we've been on Trey McKinney all day, and Trey McKinney has caught him for us all day. You know, in a place where big numbers are not a very common thing, Trey McKinney has put big numbers in the boat. I mean, he's caught 10, 12 keepers during the course of today. Probably more than that.
His fishing day has been flawless, Tommy. Caught a lot of big, other than losing that fish just a couple minutes ago, which might not even helped him. He's fished it very well. Left his starting area with 20 pounds, has gone to the lake to at least explore. The only problem with this region right now is if all the people who put their eggs in the lake's basket, you know, out there on the main lake, if it does not come to fruition the first part of today, they start poking around and looking, and if they start to see, hey, canals are the deal, might be a whole lot more company tomorrow. And that's naturally how it goes. When you're trying to figure out something, Peter, you may go to the ends of the earth to get it done, and they may go out of the main lake into some of these canals to look for cleaner water, and he may have company tomorrow. Luckily, I think he's boat one, though. So.
Yeah, you've got to make big moves when you're behind. When someone's got a 20-pound bag, you know, you've got to make big moves the following day to kind of catch up, to get back in there. So you can't fish your same plan if you're sitting at 10 pounds, you know, for an entire day, or 11 pounds on day one. So there's going to be a lot of big moves made tomorrow, and your pontification and your predictions are probably going to be right, you know, where they're going to go into those spots from the big lake.
What am I doing?
You're pontificating.
Okay.
Drew Cook live.
You got a map? No. 8 pounds. 8 pounds with a 4.5 pounder out of that. Yeah. He's got about the same. That's where I've been all day.
What area were you in? Up north?
Yeah. Around 10 House, wherever the clean water Neilgrass is.
Yeah, I mean, you were in between 10 House and Indian Prairie.
Yeah. Me and 63 other people to begin the day.
Anybody catch them?
No.
So I caught a 9-pounder in there in practice, dude.
Oh gosh. That's a hammer. I mean, a big one.
The last thing you want to do is stop fishing to talk to
You
someone
already casted
and then
there.
catch one
See,
right
it
where
was-
you would have
it-
just
it-
casted.
It was only going to bite on the 15th time it saw the worm. And I just happened to be the 15th time.
Maybe they'll turn on. That'd be a kicker for me.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot of this going to go to the bottom line, I promise you.
It's Matt Airy he's talking to there. So that'd be a kicker for him. That's Matt's struggling, obviously, a little bit today.
It does appear to be a rougher day. Greg DePalma's 811 is now in 30th place, 2 ounces ahead of 31st. And at 50th place, the cut after 2 days, Alex Weatherall got 4 for 415. I think we're going to have the couple top anglers have really good weights, and then it'll drop off pretty quick. We
got 30,
have 40
right?
people off Bass Track.
Yeah, including the likes of Tucker Smith, who was second place here last year at the Open event. And
Have you
I
put
think
in
there's
your
some
weight
more.
suit for Bass Track, or are you one of the 40 that's missing?
I'm not letting you know what I got.
Just like Drew Cook with Matt. Where were you at in the lake? You know, I don't know.
I was up
just,
there.
Around.
I didn't fully lie. I didn't say 10 house. I just said 10. You know, I let you assume the rest.
Yeah.
And then up there, up north, you know, we're over here south, I think.
B-52s, I thought Tin
Somewhere.
Roof rusted.
I was somewhere on Okeechobe. They were.
Yeah, you can't.
Wes Logan back in the top 10 with a 3-pounder, up to 13 and a
There
half.
hasn't been anything in a while. Probably about due.
Not bad. That'd be a
Got one.
nice kicker for the other guys we just saw on the canal. I'm looking at that barometric pressure over there at the lake, and there's not much going on. Not a lot of changes. Little temperature drops, but I mean it's
But
like
I think it's a lot bigger
very
than one.
mild changes. Friday there's one, you know, 4 p.m. It drops a little bit, but maybe that could turn something on.
I think that one can help him.
but he's a lot bigger, so he's got a, even if he didn't make it, he's a lot bigger than a 104.
Well, if he's got a 104, then that is just a 1 pounder, Tommy, not a 1.3 or 1.4. Said his smallest was a 1.4.
Yeah.
Well, it's
If it's
3/4 of a pound upgrade, so.
That's just a 1 pounder,
a 1 pounder.
and that's a 3/4 of a pound upgrade right there for Brandon Cobb.
Yeah, meaningful.
Nice.
Absolutely meaningful. Well, we're pushing closer and closer to weigh-in time. It's still a ways away for some of our anglers among our 104 that are out there right now.
Look at we could have Trey McKinney, Matty Wong, Scott Canterbury, Brandon Cobb, Kiyoya Fujita, and Kyle Patrick on Bass Live, Tommy. I think Kyle Patrick's going to get plenty of words in edgewise.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a good bet. Yeah, he might make it. He might make it. Hard to tell at this point. A lot of unknowns. All will be known when we get to the weigh-in time. So mark down 3 o'clock right here on Bassmaster.com.
She grew up fast.